New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
Get ready to dive into a new world of online shopping with the Fins Tailgate. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just looking for the latest fashion trends, we've got you covered. With a wide variety of products from your favorite sports teams to stylish accessories and home decor, we're your one-stop shop for all things tailgate. Our easy-to-use website and hassle-free checkout process make shopping with us a breeze. Plus, with frequent sales and discounts, you won't want to shop anywhere else. So come on in and join the party at the Fins Tailgate, your new go-to destination for all things tailgate.
Ladies and gentlemen, TFTG proudly presents Broken Takes. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Broken Takes is back. It's been too long. It's been so long, but we're back for a special episode. It was a Saturday night that just didn't went, and now we're back with a Broken Take in place. It will be really well. I got the boys in the back. We got a lot to talk about. I'm going to be bringing them up here. But before I do so, real quick, shout out to Fanatics. Definitely check out their link below. They got a lot of stuff there. A lot of stuff. Officially licensed everything. Shout out to Fanatics. Shout out to Doobie Energy Drink. You can check their link out. Some awesome energy supplements. If you don't take my word for it, check out Shake Money's stuff. He'll tell you all about Doobie Energy Drink. They have a lot of vitamins and minerals, all smash, no crash. Definitely check out Doobie Energy Drink. And while you're also checking out Backroom Collection, hang up artwork, Miami Dolphins artwork, sports artwork, and they got some accessories for those mini helmets. They got tons of stuff. Check out Backroom Collection. If you want to save 10% off of both of those, Doobie Energy Drink and Backroom Collection, definitely use code TFTG at checkouts. Thank you to the affiliates. Yes, rocking and rolling. Also, while you're hanging out with us, check out some of the other content. We got El Capitan, and go on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, calling games on Sundays. Hopefully, you got Color and I in the morning. Late Night Exhale is back. Saturdays, 10 p.m. May not always go as planned, but we're definitely back. We're going to be doing shows on the regular. We got KP, we got Lewis and Shake Money, and don't forget the man, the myth, the legend, the guy that tells you what it has to be analytically. Check out Crypto. He's going to be added to this list soon. So definitely shout out to Crypto. All right, let's bring the boys up. We got Color, we got Shake Money, and then we got the man that I just shouted out, but I'm going to give them some good music. Let's see. I don't like that one. No. I think this way. We'll give you some dance pop, Crypto. That's right. We got Crypto up in here. We'll give you some dance pop music to come into. Because I could see it. I could see Crypto in his heyday going to the nightclubs and starting one of those dance circles, and he's in the middle doing all different types of moves, like some breakdance video or movie or something.
Oh yeah, I break dance back in the day. Did the helicopter, the turtle spin on the back. Yeah.
Oh, see, I
I used
knew
to do
it.
all
I
that.
knew you were
I
that
did the
type of guy, Crypto. I
helicopter.
knew it. I knew it. Yeah, that's brings back some memories. But how's everybody
Carry
doing
your mat
tonight?
everywhere too, like have a mat and a ghetto blaster crypto ready to go at any time, or what, bro?
Yeah, the mat, carry
Yeah.
around that mat in the
See,
jukebox.
Hey,
Ready to roll.
I just showed my credentials. I remember ghetto blasters.
Yeah. Yep. Hey,
Yeah.
don't forget, it wasn't a mat; it was a cardboard.
Right,
Yeah,
oh,
that's
right.
true.
Well,
You're right. It was a
the
cardboard.
no, but the pros, the ones that would go to the pro shop for breakdancing, they had the mats. You know what I mean? Like they were like all serious. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Yeah.
I apologize to anybody if I've used an older paradigm if we're not allowed to call them ghetto blasters anymore. But that's what they were called in the store. So I'm sorry. That's how they were marketed. What can I say?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Those have been retired to the museum now.
that's been
right.
that brought back some old memories there, Crypto. You know, back when in my heydays when we used to go to the club all the time and stuff, and I had a lot of friends
Yeah.
that would start
That
those
or the
circles
roller
and
skate
breakdance.
rink.
Oh
Remember the
yeah, that's
roller
another
rinks?
one. Yeah, I definitely remember the
There you
roller
go.
rinks. Definitely. So, welcome to the team, Crypto. I didn't officially get to say welcome, and I got to teach you the
Pleasure.
secret handshake. It's kind of like
Yeah.
the what do they call those? The Templar. We have one of those Templar handshakes, man. So
Templar.
double thumbs, pinky twist, and all. I'll have to teach it to you. So
Right. Yep. You got to show me the ropes, no doubt.
just messing with you, Crypto. I'm messing with you. Anyway, so it's Broken Takes. And if you didn't know, Crypto, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit like and subscribe first. Just that's number one. But number two, Broken Takes is free space. Anything goes. It doesn't matter how good or how bad of a take. It doesn't matter if it's broken, unbroken, unbeatable, doesn't matter, or so ridiculous. Definitely check it out. In addition, make sure you leave your comments. We want to know what you guys think about Broken Takes. What do you guys want to talk about? Do you guys want to talk about the preseason game or players? What's on your guys' mind?
I'm gonna do a projection broken take if this was to happen, or if this then that, right? I'm gonna do
The
it
old
if this then that,
statement. The old if then statement. All right, okay.
right?
Little computer programming. All right.
Listen. This is my thought,
Right.
real quick. If let's actually talk about the preseason game, real quick. You know what I mean? I know it wasn't pretty, but number one, it's preseason, and in my opinion, the first preseason game of every year looks horrible. It looks horrendous. It usually does.
Yeah.
Basically, what we saw is a game that was caliber to the Hall of Fame game. That's basically the caliber of game we were looking at, right? And right now, these are the facts. The Miami Dolphins have a ton of pieces across from the offense to the defense to special teams. Now they have to figure out how those pieces fit together. You can't just put a corner piece and plug it right into a middle piece, and that doesn't have the edging or anything. It doesn't look right. You know what I mean? It's like puzzle pieces that you have to mash together. Well, this is all experimenting, bro. And I've said it before on Top of the Tailgate that Omar Kelly, shout out to him, said that we're experimenting. That's all that's going on. That's what they're doing, bro. Did you notice? Did you really look at the offense? The offense looked like it was vanilla play calling, bro. It was vanilla play calling. They weren't doing anything that we haven't seen before. They didn't do anything that was, oh, that's so exotic. You know what I mean? They didn't do any of that. You know what I mean? And the other part, to be honest, both quarterbacks were kind of a letdown. Nobody had the head over the other. You know what I mean? However, I will say it was a pretty shame that you made 3 trips to the red zone and you couldn't get it done. That's kind of damning, but I think you can come back from it based on what you do in the second preseason game. So that is going to be a big testament. Right now, I'm not freaking out. I'm still waiting and seeing until I see the second preseason game. If the second preseason game is just as bad, then I'm gonna start to sound the alarms and be like, okay, maybe we got to take a step back and figure out what the fuck's going on. Excuse my language. So, what do you guys think about that? I'll start off with Color. What do you think?
Mhm.
Color.
I'm sorry, I couldn't echo your sentiments any clearer, Ollie. I mean, before I got stopped in saying it on the last show, I think that there are so many. Look, we expect the coaches that we hold in a high regard, the ones that we hold in a low regard and want to get better. We expect these guys to get better and show us something better than last year. For instance, the special teams or whatever, and then we turn around and say, well, they're supposed to put the best product out on the field in the first preseason game so that it shows us as fans that they are better. I don't understand that. It's more like they've got these guys that they think some of them might be able to make their first team better so that they are putting the better product on the field that we clamor for as fans. And we need to give them a chance to do that and look at those players. And when those players don't perform, i.e., give up a big punt return, we can't be talking about in the preseason firing the special teams coach. That would have been done already if we were ever even dreaming of doing something like that. And also, the other thing I want to add to that point is, let's not forget that the first headline I saw when I woke up this morning and looked at my toilet sources was Devon Achane breaks off the opening kickoff for 38 yards. How's that a bad special teams performance? I don't follow.
The special teams was not horrible from what I could see. I mean, granted, that there are some tackling issues, but then again,
And that's
these
the
are
most
all
overlooked,
these are all
Ali.
camp bot. Say that again. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying that's the overlook when a lot of people don't realize that's the backstory on why I'm not there, as this being the best roster we've ever assembled in, they say, 1,000 years now. I don't know what the number is now, because of that 1/3 of the team that to me is just not there. They're not nowhere at the level to say that this team is complete as any of those other teams, because we're top heavy and we're not looking at the complete 53-man roster or the special teams play in general. And we were dead last in special teams. Where's the actual improvement in the special teams? For us to say that, okay, we got 3/3 of the team together instead of just 2/3 of the team together, or 1/3 of the team together, but with no true depth. Because we're going to be playing some of these players that played yesterday if they make the roster at some point in the season. Can we say we're really comfortable about the depth?
Yeah, I mean,
That's why I've always was kind of pausing and kind of cringe when people just go so hard in the paint and say that, and not looking at the complete 53-man roster line by line and comparing them to those teams in the past. No, it's just me. I guess because I'm analytical by nature. I'm always the last guy to jump on the boat or off the boat, no matter how you look at it.
Yeah. I know what you mean, man. But at the end of the day, so whoever the second string, let's say for instance the second string middle linebacker, he's going to be playing amongst the first stringers, so that should help him improve a little bit better. You know what I mean? You take. I think if you take a first stringer and you put him amongst second stringers, he's not going to be at his best either. You know what I mean?
Yes, right. Especially if he's not used to the scheme
So at the end of the day,
or the way things are played.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, I'm looking up data here. Look, the best football teams. You look at you take a look at Cincinnati, and everybody thought, even including us. Remember when we played them? Oh man, they're going to be a cakewalk. They struggled. They were struggling week
I
through
think
week.
I'm breaking up. Can
you hear me?
I don't think I can hear you, Shake.
Can you hear me, Color?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Okay.
Sorry, that was El Cap.
Yeah. What do you say?
He was saying that he thinks that what I said was correct in regards to the team. He feels that we have a bunch of pieces, and on the outside we're trying to mash everybody together, and in the inside they're still evaluating people. You know what I mean? They put him in scenarios. The whole point of these preseason games is to put your team in scenarios that to see what those players really can do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there are people on this team that I think showed us something, and then there's people on this team that I think that maybe took a step back a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's actually separate those. Let's do an exercise and separate, some of the players and what they did and didn't do. Did we just lose Crypto, or did Crypto put himself in the back?
No, we lost. I don't think he has control, so I don't think he just had. Hold on, come back. Yeah.
yeah, my phone jumped out. I was in a different signal area.
No worries. No worries.
But what I was trying to say was the fact that I was trying to tell him that the fact that last year, people in the beginning of and this is regular season, people thought Cincinnati was struggling and we were going to beat them because, oh man, this is going to be easy. They're like 1-2 or 1-3 or whatever, and we were going to steamroll over them. That didn't happen.
Right.
The few years that the Patriots went to the Super Bowl, they started off 1-3, 2-2. So at the end of the day, I don't put stock into the beginning of the season because everybody's still trying to figure each other out. So at the end of the day, NFL is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We've gone undefeated in the preseason before. When we used to play 4 preseason games, we've gone undefeated, and we still didn't have the great start of the season. Winning preseason games means nothing. It means nothing. You could go 0-4. You can go 0-4 or 1-4 or 1-3, whatever it is now. Like you could go 1-3, and
they
still,
didn't win a lot of preseason games during Brady era.
You can start the season 1-3 and still win the Super Bowl. I mean, teams have done it.
Also, Ali, I've actually done the dive on the numbers. In the 21-year reign of Tom Brady with New England, they only had 8 seasons that they were above 500 in the preseason.
Yeah.
And the vast majority of their seasons were exactly at 500 at 2-2. So, and we all know, I didn't look at the first couple games of the season each of those years, but we all know that it was widely common for the Patriots to start 1-2, 0-2, and then rip off 10 games in a row. You know what I mean? So,
right, exactly.
This idea that we know what's going on the practice field or in training camp, or what's being said to who and by whom and all this, we don't know. We just don't.
Right.
Yeah,
we're really in the dark. You're right.
Yeah, we don't know. You're absolutely right.
And on that note, the Ravens only won 2 Super Bowls in that same span, but they just recently won their 24th preseason game in a row. They last lost in 2015. Was the last time they lost a preseason game. But during that time period, they never won the Super Bowl in that time period.
And I think the point that I was trying to make when YouTube cut off the show earlier, last night, depending on when we released this show, the where I had just gotten to was, if let's say we have player A, who's a really good player, pick your favorite one, because I don't want to put a name on it. I'm talking about possible injury here. So I'll just say player A gets injured. Backup player A comes in, right?
Mm-hmm.
At that point, do we say, well, backup player A is in, So since backup player A is in, we're going to be like the preseason, and we're going to replace every single player A along that squad with their backup.
Right.
Well, that's what we did last night. That's what a preseason game is. All of the guys that are clamoring to be one of those backups to the first team, they all played together last night. They didn't back up one guy with the first team. So if you think that we're gonna, when a player goes down and we put his backup in, if you think we're gonna then go along and put every other player's backup in too, then you should worry, because what we saw last night was an illustration that ain't gonna work. Obviously.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's
definitely.
as logically as I know how to put it, Ollie. You know what I mean?
Let's do this exercise like I was talking about, all right? Let's actually separate the players that I think showed us something versus the ones that didn't show us something, okay? So for example, I'll start. And we'll go around, each person will name somebody that showed them something, okay? And then we'll do the same thing for the non-showing. So this guy, and I already know who Color's gonna pick because it's his favorite player on offense. I'm gonna let Color.
Oh, you don't know. No, you don't know yet. You don't know yet. Go ahead and pick your.
I have a very. I already know who he is because.
I bet you're wrong.
Really? Fine. I'll take your thunder. Then. You ready for this?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Gaskin showed that he can still be a running back in this room.
I agree with you, but I already knew that, so it wasn't. It's not mine. Go ahead.
But does the audience know that Color? Right?
No, but he's not my. He didn't show me anything new, so it wasn't going to be the guy I picked. I'm just saying.
Okay, fair enough. You may not have going to be picking him, but it wasn't that they showed you anything new. Is that they showed something. That's what.
Right. You're right. Really right. Sure. I got you.
He showed something. The guy showed me he can still be a running back in this room. He actually looks faster than what he did last year, in my opinion. That's true talk right there. And he showed he could be a pass catcher as well, out of the backfield. I was very impressed with Gaskin, and you can ask Color. I've not been on board with him, and in my opinion, he definitely showed me in a good argument why he should be on this roster still. So, all right, Color, your turn. Who do you got?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you who showed me something last night, and I'm going to tell you what that something is.
Okay.
Devon Achane. And I'm sorry if I already stole the other two, Crypto and Shake's thunder, but Devon Achane, and the reason I pick him is because I want to tell you what he showed me. He showed me that, obviously it's an easier or more easily transitioned position. I get it. But what he showed me is that all of the stuff that we said, hey, look at this guy for when we looked at his college tape has already translated to the NFL, in my opinion. That's what he showed last night. When this guy hits the hole, hits his stride. Okay, some guys are big and strong and even small and strong and can carry a pile an extra couple yards, right? We get that. This guy can move a pile of bodies just from hitting it 2 yards. Like just from hitting the outside of, like if he gets bottled up. Now, granted, he was bottled up a couple times in the backfield. Not his fault. They were blown blocks, like right off the bat. You know what I mean? But when he gets bottled up, your standard, okay, halfback dive goes into the hole and the hole's bottled up, right? When he hits them guys, they move 2 yards. That's how hard he hits them. And so, you know, you're talking about translate that to first team offensive line who is actually opening up holes. And this dude is gashing teams for 10, 15 yards at a time. That's just what the possibilities he showed me last night. How about you, Crypto?
Yeah.
I mean, who you pick? Who showed you something last night?
I mean, him and the oh, I forget the other running back. He was pretty good. I don't know if he'd be a final piece, but 8, like you said. But I think the running back translates faster, anyways, by default.
Sure,
I
sure,
think they'll pick up. They got the smallest learning curve per se,
sure.
than all the other skill positions.
Mhm.
So yeah, I would say A Chain is one.
Mhm.
Um,
Give me
we had
somebody that
some
we haven't
depth
mentioned.
safety.
Yeah, go ahead. Go
That
ahead.
we haven't mentioned. I haven't watched any of the details of the last quarter. I have to relook at that. So I haven't, because I was on stream,
Okay,
doing a play by play when I was on stream. So I didn't see the
gotcha.
visual, game other than hearing KP's call and El Cap's call on the game. I was
Okay.
the first quarter I had a peek of live action, but it was delayed, because I'm not gonna name the name of the stream because it might spoil it for everybody else. So that one was like a 9-second delay, I think, maybe 10 seconds. So
Mm.
I was actually, our offensive line wasn't that bad at the very beginning, and then it did just, the wheels just fell off the wagon. I really want to see the final numbers on pressure rate because I think it just went through the roof after that second series. So
Mm.
other than that, it's just a confidence thing of everybody playing together with different pieces in there at the same time, in and out of the lineup.
Mhm.
So
Very
that's what
interesting.
kind of caught my attention. It's kind of hard to gauge the first game, but now that this is why I wanted them to play the starters for at least 10 minutes, game time
Mhm.
minutes, just so they can get loose. It's just a matter of getting loose and getting back in football, the speed of football, after having 8 months off. Especially Tua per se, right? He's been out since December. Everybody else has been out since January. So his absence is even longer than everybody else's.
Mhm.
So that's why I was anxious for him to play at least 10 minutes yesterday, just to be loose, just to get back in, football play, the speed of football. But hopefully he does play on against Houston, which I think they should make this as the dress rehearsal, you know, because that
Mhm.
last game is I wanted
Yeah,
totally to
less
be all
hometown eyes,
backups.
crypto. Less prying hometown eyes. We'll all be put to sleep next week because it's away.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Because the thing is, that Jacksonville game, forget about it. You think Trevor Lawrence is playing in that game, or
Well, it's
ETN,
like when they it's
or
like when they
Christian
do a
Kirk?
it's like when they do a media dump on a Friday. You know what I mean? They're gonna play our starters and all that next week when we're in another state.
Yeah.
Because there's
Right.
there's a certain amount of the prying eyes, percentage of the prying eyes that will be asleep next week. You know what I mean?
We're gonna be asleep. Exactly. Right. Exactly. I know what you mean. Because I don't think we're gonna be
And
able to play
yes, this
against
is broken
anybody's number
take. So
ones,
I'm
right?
sorry if somebody thinks that's a broken take. That's what this show's all about. So keep it coming. Hey,
Right.
who showed you something? Is Shake back there? I can't see in the dark, but
Yeah, yeah.
who
Yeah.
impressed you, or who showed you something last night, Shake?
I can't really say. The only person I'm gonna say is A Chain because of the kick return. I'm in the same boat as Crypto. I only saw the first quarter of the game.
Well, I'll offer another one then. Somebody
I
that
got
showed you something.
I got another one too,
Go ahead,
Coder.
Ali.
I got two actually.
Yeah.
I want to bring
Oh
up.
well, then let me jump one in, and I don't know if it matters because this guy could be just a straight camp body.
Okay.
Hmm.
But every play that Cam Smith was breaking up last night,
Okay, Lana.
there was a
Right.
guy around the ball on that play, somewhere near him, which shows me the guy's got a really good ability to just get to the dang football, and that is Tino Ellis, of all people, who I thought we didn't even have on the squad anymore. But I checked and double checked. It wasn't Deshaun Elliott. It was Tino Ellis. I mean, the name was Ellis on the back of the jersey.
Very interesting. The two people that I have in mind are actually on the offensive side of the ball still. I
Mhm.
have others too that I can name, but I'm going to tell you two things I saw specifically. One is Easy E showed up in this game, right?
Hmm.
He
Excellent
had,
pick.
Okay.
and they had Easy E doing jet sweeps, and one of his jet sweeps, I hear feedback from somebody. Um, one of his jet sweeps, he actually broke up for a pretty good run, actually. And in addition to it, not only was he participating in jet sweeps, they had him participating in the blocking scheme during run plays. And there's video out there you can find. I think TD has one that you can see. He's really putting in work in the blocking, bro. He is not afraid to put his hands on somebody and block. In fact, I think this one play that TD has posted, go to his Twitter feed, that it looks like he bull rushed somebody in the end of it. You know what I mean? So shout out to Easy, not afraid to get his hands dirty. That's what I like to see from my players, specifically players that know that they may not have the biggest role yet, but they want to at least put work out there to show, hey, this is how I can benefit you. And that was really awesome. I was really good to see, actually. So rock and roll to Easy. The other person, and this guy, it wasn't the fact that he made the catch or anything. He did have a few. I think he had a couple catches, actually. Can't remember. I have to go back and look. But there was something I was noticing. Unfortunately, the quarterback that was playing at the time didn't notice. And that is Braxton Berrios. I've seen it in camp. Berrios catching balls across the middle, getting open, not dropping a pass or anything. And he's been playing more than I thought he would have. He's really giving a run for the money for the number 3 position, right? When we finally got into the stadium last night and I sat down and I was watching our drive that we had, Mike White on several occasions was looking in the opposite direction and did not look at Berrios, who was completely wide open for the first down several times. The man is getting open, right? Has speed. Throw him the damn ball. That's basically where I'm at with that. And in addition, they have him running, being part of this jet sweep package as well. And when both receivers that can, make people move, make the defenses move, I think that's pretty impressive. You know what I mean? So that's why I like both of those guys. But yeah, that's who I got. Who do you got, Color?
I was also looking at, I'm trying to get the number real quick. Yes. Everybody hyped him up. Everybody knows I'm a fan of Cam Good, and I really hope he has a shot to make the team. And there's been talk that it's between him and this other guy, like Tyndall, or him and this, that, or the other guy. And there's also been talk of another guy who we tested out, as far as with the edge group, which is where Tyndall is at. Where Good is at. And that's the guy from the University of Miami, fellow Hurricane, Mitchell Agude. Man, did he have a great, he showed that how people have been hyping him ain't just hype. The guy's got the goods for sure. And that brings me to my second person that showed me something. I want to try to find him real quick and what his number is. Before I speak about him real quick, I kind of remember his last name. Hold on a second. There he is right there, number 56, wearing old John Offerdahl's number, Garrett Nelson. This guy comes out of nowhere last night, gets all up in the quarterback's business, causes all the pressure, causes the quarterback to step up, where then Aguda comes up, chases him down from behind before he gets back to the line of scrimmage for the sack. Just unbelievable play all the way around on defense, both from Nelson and Aguda. And both one showed me that he lives up to the hype, and the other one showed me that we may need to be hyping him a little more.
In addition to Nelson, Color, real quick, I just want to say a few words about him. He's the guy that on the first day of public training camp, right, where we can watch them, right, that Sunday, remember we went? he's the same guy that was the first player out onto the field, hitting, doing those drills with the hand drills where they're pushing up on the bar. You know what I'm talking about? You know
Okay.
you know what I'm talking about? He was the one doing that. And then I saw a video of him in the next day, him being the first one out doing the same thing. And then I also saw him as one of the first people out when we went to the stadium practice in addition to that. So I like to see that he's coming out first, putting in work, putting in the extra work. So I'm glad to see that it paid off. One last thing real quick, in addition to him, another person on the defense that actually I think he played next to Agude, Brandon Pilley still showing up, still flashing, through training camp and now into the games. I'm impressed. I want to see more of it. I'm thinking he's really starting to put in the work to really make people think about really putting him on this 53-man roster. So that's where I'm at with the players that I thought showed us something. Now, who didn't show that should have? What do you think, Color?
Who didn't show us that somebody that should have? Gosh, that's a little tough. Because I mean, obviously, people made mistakes all over the place.
I say the gunner, Color. The gunner didn't show us.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
Danny
I would
Crossman.
say, I would say,
right.
For me, when it comes to ball placement exclusively, I think Mike White had a little to show that he left on the table. For the same thing as we would hammer 2 of 4, in past months or seasons. Mike White needs to clean that up, get the ball out in front of these receivers when they're standing in the end zone. And it goes for, or not it, but I'll go ahead and critique the other quarterback on the field last night, Skyler, who once again showed me that regardless of where they have him in the pecking order right now or what they have planned for his appearance, obviously we heard some reports from media types about him needing to show up in practice this week. Well, it would help if he had the same, kind of number 1, number 2 opportunity to do that. But that being said, he's still, I mean, maybe it's because they already know where his limits are at this moment, having played a playoff game against a great defense in the playoffs, and kind of, showed that he wasn't. I mean, we scored points that day, so that's one thing that Mike White nor Skyler were able to do last night. So, but his attitude, just watching him throughout camp, it's either one of two things: either he was told it's okay, you're safe, and as such, he's been carrying himself like a guy that's safe, either at QB2 or 3, or he just simply carries himself as a guy that is just simply happy to be an NFL football player. And to me, that's not grabbing the bull by the horns, even though I think given his skill set, he could, if he wanted to, grab the bull by those horns. You see what I'm saying? So both quarterbacks last night needed to show me more, given their certain perspective, angle, what they were on the field for last night, whatever it is between the two. They both could have showed me more.
Yeah, I'll agree with you 100%, bro. You take 3 trips to the red zone and you don't make it happen, there's something wrong there. And if you look at what he does, he holds onto the ball way too long. Several times he had more than enough time to just get rid of the ball and throw it somewhere that it wouldn't have been intercepted or anything. But no, he took the sack. Even Skyler did that. And I don't understand. How hard is it? You don't see anything. You know they're coming for you. Throw the ball away. How hard is it?
I remember at one point, Skyler got called for an intentional grounding, and El Capitan said it should have been an intentional, not roughing the passer.
A late hit, roughing the passer. Yeah.
And And that's the other thing. That's the other thing. There was a big sack that Mike White took, and my issue with it, it's not that I can understand if the guy's already on top of you and you have to take the sack. But you knew there was a guy chasing you and you knew there was a guy in front of you, and you still had 4 seconds to get rid of the ball and you didn't take it. Right? I've seen the play. I've rewound it and counted 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. I can throw a ball within 4 seconds. Right? I don't understand why you couldn't just throw the ball away. You know what I mean? There's a proper way of throwing it, and I just don't get that. Now, Skyler, he took a sack as well that lost us like 12 yards or something like that. And he held the ball too long as well. But then again, I don't know. I'm not making an excuse for it.
Complete jailbreak on several of them. Yeah.
Yeah. That my point is, I'm not making excuses for either of them. My point is that you guys have been holding the ball too long. We already know this is an issue. Our starting quarterback has been accused of holding the ball too long. What the hell's going on? Why are we holding on to the ball? You know what I mean? If the play isn't there, throw it away and we bring up a new play. That's pretty much how I see it. And I don't know. Maybe there's a point to it. Maybe
could this be an issue with the quarterback's coach then? Needs to
who is the quarterback?
Ratchet
coach?
out.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name?
As far as telling his quarterbacks to stop holding on to the ball too long. Now this comes from the coaching now.
That'd be Darren Bevel, or is he?
Yeah, Bevel.
Yeah, Darren Bevel.
Bevel. Darren Bevel.
Yeah, because if Tua got hurt holding on to the ball too long, maybe it's just a trickle down effect. Well, the other quarterbacks feel they need to hold on to the last minute. I don't know. I'm just asking questions.
These are questions that to be asked. I don't really know, bro.
Yep. And the great thing is there is plenty of time for those questions to be answered. That's the one thing that I took from last night, and that I take from everybody's reactions today, or I should say, the day after, because we don't know exactly when this is going to be watched by the viewers. But look, there's still plenty of time. I mean, we're acting like this was the 11th week of the season, and we've only got 2 opportunities left to secure our playoff position or something.
Yeah.
Well,
if I say that, they're like, "Oh, well, you're not being excuse me for being concerned." It's like, come on, man, don't be so dang.
Look, our fan base is hyperbolic, bro. It's fire and ice. Either they're on fire or they're on ice.
Right. It's like exactly. It's like I'm concerned with a few things too, positionally and individually. But I'm not concerned with my team all of a sudden because we gave up a punt return with a bunch of guys who haven't even made the team yet.
Look, you and I identified players that showed us something, and some of the names people don't even
just as good as ours last year.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we just named people that we thought showed us something, and there's names that people don't even know who they are, right? That's a good thing, bro. We pointed out players that showed us they can do certain things, and we need to expand on that and see how they fit in our offense. The whole point of this first game or these preseason in general is not a rehearsal for the starters. It's a tryout for everybody, man, that is not a starter. That's basically what it comes down to. And
Ollie, I feel like sometimes, not me per se, but people who are like-minded with me, I feel like we're the only ones that are really on the same time schedule as the coach.
Yeah.
This happens. I mean, this has been going on for how long has the NFL been going on in the Super Bowl era, Ollie? Where are we at now?
We're over 100 years now, right? I believe we're over 100. Yeah.
This is standard training camp football. I mean, this is what you do. We had guys in spring training in high school that, they got their chance because they didn't come out as freshmen and they saw everybody else had fun. Oh, I'll try out for spring training. Imagine how many people in the school came out for spring training. Guys we knew would, you're never going to be in. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I think it's just such an overreaction, and to say it's an overreaction is not an underreaction. There's plenty of things I'm concerned about, but none of them have to do with the outcome of last night's game.
Yeah, so the NFL was founded in 1920, Color. Just so you know.
There you
so
go.
It's been over 100. But the reality for me
Over
is that
100.
this is, they're over 100 now. So basically, for me, last night's game was really just a tryout. It's exactly what I expected. It's time for the coaches to sit there and evaluate. Show me what you got. Show me. We're not gonna show you actual plays. That's why the offense looks so vanilla, bro.
See, if I was the coaches, Ali, here's
Ali,
a
I
broken
don't even know
take.
if I believe in that no more.
Right, here's a broken take. If I was the coaches, I would go all preseason playing the starters and everything and game planning to beat everybody and like, look at us. Oh wow, we're 4-0. And then when the whole thing craps to bed and I have to give an excuse at my press conference, I'll be like, well, when were we supposed to find the time to pick the right guys to fill those gaps?
It's true. Good point.
And by the way,
Y'all are the ones that told us to play preseason like it's the real deal. So we could have been using that time to look at the other guys and say who are the ones that should be worthy of playing with the first team so we can make the overall product better for y'all. Instead, we're sitting here losers because y'all wanted us to show you the product in the preseason.
And by the way, the first college game was played in 1869.
Yep. Rutgers versus Princeton. Right. I know that one like the back of my hand. No, sick.
That's about right. 18 what again?
69.
Yep.
Back in the summer of 69.
It was Rutgers College versus Princeton.
Yep, that's exactly what it says.
That's actually kind of cool. The first Ohio State versus Michigan game, which is the biggest rivalry in all of college sports, in my opinion, took place in 1897.
Wow.
Yeah, not far, not like 20 years after that, 1869, right?
Yep. And I believe, Shake, it wasn't longer after that because I think it happened after the first football match. It wasn't long after that that somebody attempted a forward pass toward the end of the game, and they had to argue whether it should be allowed or not, and they ended up allowing it and giving the win to that team. And so that's when the forward pass was born.
So anyway, let's continue with.
In my opinion, the best rivalry, in my opinion, is Florida versus Georgia, 1915.
Okay, that's it's your opinion. Definitely, we all have opinions here. It's all good, Kelly.
Miami versus Notre Dame, 1980 something.
Come on, Color. You know the biggest rivalry for you guys is University of Miami versus Florida State. You know that's
absolutely.
Wide right or wide left. You know it's going to happen over and over again. All right,
it's bound to happen.
Yeah. So anyway, let's keep it going with the NFL here real quick. I'm going to drop a broken take for you guys, right? We haven't really I've been listening to takes and really none of these takes are really broken, right? I'm going to give you a broken
I got
take.
one after you, Ali.
Definitely.
I got one
and
too.
We'll go around. My broken take involves 3 players. And I think 3 players have made a case to be a lock on the roster already. Right, that we saw last night, and they played in that preseason game. Number 1, and these are people outside of people that we just drafted. They're people that may not have been drafted. They could be undrafted rookies, all that kind of stuff, right? Number 1, Eazy-E made a case that he's definitely a lock on the 53-man roster, no matter what, right? The guy is very much improved from last season, even in the preseason standpoint. And what I've seen of him in camp, he looks good. I want to see it in a real. I think he's ready now for NFL experience, right? That's number one. Number two, Aubrey Miller, I think, is a lock to make this roster now. I saw him playing with the second unit, calling defensive plays. From most of the replays I was watching, a lot of times when he was out there, he was the one finishing the tackle. He was always where the ball was at. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I'm gonna go with Aubrey Miller. And then number three, this one is kind of debatable because I know Agude is there, and I kind of think he's a lock too. But this person is going to be kind of a shocker, to be honest. Not really a shocker, but I don't think I would have said he was going to be a lock earlier on before training camp. Brandon Pilley, I think, has put enough on tape where they now have him as in the lock position. I don't think he's on the bubble so much anymore. You know what I mean? If he continues at the pace that he's at, I don't think that they're going to have any reason to put him on the bubble or to say, no, we're going to pass on him. I think he does just enough to be suitable. He can definitely be suitable as a depth piece or even on special teams. I think he's definitely doing what is asked of him.
You don't think that they're going to take into consideration the colorblind issue?
The colorblind issue. If anything, I think that's definitely going to help him.
Okay.
Well, apparently he has a hard time seeing the difference between orange and red.
Right.
Well, to be honest, I want my defensive tackle to be like a mean SOB type of caveman. And
but he's also got to show some control, bro.
Hold on, Color, because let me land. This was good, and you're ruining it.
I'm sorry, man.
So just like a caveman, he probably saw red and thought danger. And what did they do with danger? They attacked it, right? And so in a sense, he has that caveman mentality, and I like that. And I forget who it was. Somebody on Twitter posted that he's a mountain of a man. I agree, he is. And he's hanging out with the right people. When we saw him at camp and everything, he's talking to Christian Wilkins and Zach Seiler. I like that. I want to see more of it. I hope to God he gets nasty because I think this defense needs it, to be honest.
We getting a snack on this plane, bro?
All right, let's go.
Anyway, no, bro. We seriously though, like remember Revis Island and all that. Yeah. We should give Peely his own. We should call it Mount Peely.
Mount Peely. Okay.
Yeah, or Mount Peely.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Since he's a mountain of a man, you call him Mount Peely.
Is. He's a mountain of a man. Color, do you got any broken takes? Like actual broken takes?
I did, but
we'll come back to you. We'll come back to you. Don't worry.
Real quick.
Crypto, I know you got some. Go for it. What do you got?
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, definitely.
All right. Here's go. This one's probably a combination of a lot of different operating parts. We got a combination of the fan base, Chris Greer.
I'd expect nothing less, Crypto. By the way, go ahead.
This is Chris Greer, the fan base, and 4 football teams. Now, y'all know how we go hard on the New York Jets, right? Rightfully so. We're supposed to go at them, the Patriots and the Bills and all that, right? Since the Patriots had the luxurious winning 6 Super Bowls, so they're not included. We could just go at them, however. But we go hard in the paint against the Jets and Bills, rightfully so, right? But now 2 new teams has been added, the Ravens and the Browns. If you kind of get where I'm following, where I'm going here. Now, I won't say any names, but if the Browns, Ravens, or the Jets win a championship within the next 5 years, upon the winning of the championships of any of those teams, Stephen Ross will have an emergency press conference and fire Chris Greer.
Dang.
Name the teams again. We got the
On the
Browns,
spot.
the Ravens, and who else?
Or the Jets.
Or the Jets.
And what do they all have in common? A new quarterback or a long-term quarterback?
Quarterbacks that we had a chance to get.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks
Yeah.
that we had a chance to get. So Chris Greer will immediately have a press conference after the Super Bowl. When those teams are in confetti, we will be getting rid of our general manager at that time.
That is a broken take. I like that, Crypto. That's some shit right there.
Right.
Damn.
Because Chris Greer could have prevented that confetti of those
Mhm.
3 teams.
Let me ask you this. What if we get to the AFC championship game, but one of those 3 teams still wins the Super Bowl?
I think it escalates it even more.
But no, do you think that he's still fired is basically where I'm at with it. We get to the AFC championship game, but one of those 3 other teams get to the Super Bowl and win it. Is he still fired?
That means most likely, since those are AFC teams, those 3 teams would have beat us.
And what Crypto is saying, Ali, is that and correct me if I'm wrong, Crypto, don't mean to put words in your mouth, but what I think he's also trying to say is that the closer we get to each other, in other words, if one of them beats us out to put us out and moves on and wins, then that's saying, okay, you were good enough with the quarterback you got. But it even further illustrates and shows the contrast between what a real Super Bowl contending quarterback is and one that just gets there and loses to that real Super Bowl contender. If we just bowed out with a bad quarterback and one of those teams won, it probably wouldn't illustrate that difference as much.
Right.
Very
versus, because remember, we will be the team that those teams will have to go through.
Remember, this is why Jared Goff is in Detroit right now.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I don't know who's Detroit or the Rams general manager is. Let's say he would have passed up on Matthew Stafford, and Matthew Stafford wanted a Super Bowl and say, I don't want it.
It's Les Snead is their
Detroit went to the Super Bowl. Right. If Les Snead said, hey, I don't wanted this guy, but yet Matthew Stafford hoists a trophy in Detroit, and they had a chance to get him. He was your guy.
Or any other team, Crypto, or any other team. If, let's say, Matt Stafford still left Detroit and just went somewhere else and elevated them. You know what I mean? What if he came to us and won us a Super Bowl last year?
Won us one.
Or that year,
right. That's so any other team out of all 32 teams, so basically 29 other teams have the ability to save Chris Greer's job, but 3 teams has the power of Chris Greer's employment in their hands. And that's the Jets, Browns, and Ravens. That's a
very interesting. That is a broken take. So I know Shake Money had a broken take, bro. What's your broken take?
Well, back in 2015, Philman's last year, we were poised to be a playoff team and fell flat that year. I remember the first game was against Washington, and we fell. And when we came back from Germany, he got fired. No, from England, he got fired. Whatever. So if that happens again, I think that Vic Fangio is going to be the interim coach, and they're going to demote Frank Smith to the O-lines coach, and Frank Bevel will be the offensive coordinator, calling the plays.
And Frank Bevel. Okay. What about this one? If Mike McDaniel if Chris Greer doesn't keep Mike McDaniel, does that necessarily mean Fangio want to be the head coach of this football team?
Well, I can see Darren Bevel being the interim head coach, too.
Yeah, I see. I still see them going with an offensive guy. Yeah, as the head coach. I don't think they'll put another defensive coordinator ahead. I don't think. At least I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of think they'll
You never.
stay the same. They'll keep the same. And personally, I don't even
Yeah,
think Vic
Bevel is most
Fangio
likely
wants
will
to.
be the guy.
Vic Fangio may not even want to be the interim guy at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He just may want
That's why it's
to
a
keep doing
broken
what he's
take.
doing. That is kind of
Right.
a broken take. You're right.
That's a
Definitely.
broken take. Right.
Yeah, I agree.
One more, Ali.
Yes.
If our QB goes down and we find ourselves in a situation where Skyler takes us all the way and wins the Super Bowl,
Mm-hmm.
Pete will become the Miami Dolphins fan of the year.
Wow. Yes, indeed. That is definitely a broken take. I can see that happening. Nobody wouldn't even know who Del Freaky is. Well, they'll know, but they'll be like, "Who is this Pete guy?"
I got one more. You ready?
Yeah.
And Crypto's gonna love this one. When Jalen Ramsey comes back for the playoff push in December, we'll just say December because I think he's gonna come back in November, but we'll just say December, right? We'll say beginning of December. When he comes back, the starters are gonna be Jalen Ramsey and Cam Smith.
Uh-oh.
Not
Yeah.
X. And it's not because X doesn't deserve it. I kind of think that by that point, Cam Smith will be seasoned enough that they could possibly put X on ice for a little bit to give him a breather for a game or two until they get to the playoffs, kind of thing. Something like that. I don't know. It's not as broken as I thought, but I think that could happen.
Or they can
that
get him ready
definitely-
for contract negotiations or for trade bait.
But no, because by the time he comes back, it's going to be past after the trade deadline, or for next year. I see what you mean for after the
Yeah.
offseason. Okay, yeah, that's
For the
possible.
offseason.
I mean, look, I said it on this show, and I said it on Top of the Tailgate, and I said it on Late Night Exhale. Don't be surprised if Miami drafts Xavier Howard's replacement this year. And guess what they did with their first pick? Corner who resembles X in a lot of ways because he's a ball hawk, and so is X. So I wasn't wrong. We may have, you could almost safely say that this guy could be his replacement, but I still think we need him on this team at this point where we are with this year. And I think that if Cam Smith has been a pass breakup machine and has caught an interception in camp. I'm hoping he gets those interceptions up, and I kind of think it could be a thing by the end of it. So, all right,
I got
gentlemen.
a confession to make, Ali.
Go ahead.
Earlier today, I was telling people to come to your show tonight. I almost accidentally called your show "Waiting to Excel" to study late night Excel with Ali.
Oh man!
So my apologies. I almost slipped up and called it "Waiting to Excel." I was like, "Wait a minute, that's the movie. I'm not talking about the movie." But my bad, Ali. I didn't want to call it "Waiting to Excel."
Yeah.
I was like, where's Angela Bassett at? I don't see her on the street.
Yeah, definitely. But hey, guys, we're at the 1 hour mark. Let's go with final thoughts.
What'd you say?
Didn't get a groove back.
Get a groove back. Right.
Let's do final thoughts here. We'll start off with Color. Any final thoughts, Color?
Stella! Stella!
All right. Well, thanks, Color, for your final thoughts. Shake Money. Any final thoughts?
Nothing that like I said earlier, this is a marathon, not a sprint. So at the end of the day, as long as we make the playoff and we make a deep run, like I said last year, people thought Cincinnati was falling off because they had a slow start. So At the end of the day,
KRP Cincinnati.
by
Sorry.
the way, that was a good show.
What a show!
But
I love that show.
but yeah, like I said, it doesn't. Slow starts don't mean nothing. It's not how you start; it's how you finish, especially in football. So
Yeah,
that's pretty
definitely.
much
I
it.
agree.
Fins up, baby.
Fins up, baby.
Yep.
All right,
ends
Crypto,
up-
you're man. You're the new man on the totem pole, man. So tell me, what's your final thoughts? Give them to me, Crypto.
Appreciate it. Nice show, Ali.
Thanks.
Glad to be a part of the team. And we're on the Houston. And I'm with Shake Money. Yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got to take it one. Well, I guess from using a swimmer's term, one stroke at a time. You know, that's what I say, man. Yep. But
Definitely one stroke at a time.
we'll get there eventually, man. We just gotta take it 1 week at a time, one day at a time. But we all know if we have a bad performance in the opening game, we can already put it on speed dial that the fan base is gonna have a micro meltdown. So it doesn't matter. So it's just built into the cards. It's just built into the cards. But I could see it both ways. We're gonna be overhyped if we win by 40 points, and we're gonna be down in the dumps if we lose by 40. So it's just a thing.
I agree with that. Well,
Yep.
thank you, man. We really appreciate having you here, and can't wait to see more of you. Yeah, man. Thanks for hanging out with us on Broken Takes. Appreciate it. All
Yep.
right, ladies and I'm gonna solo myself here real quick. All right, so thank you. That's a wrap. This is Broken Takes. We're back. Yes, I know it's a shorter show than you guys may be used to. That's fine. This was kind of like a, hey, we haven't done it in a while. Let's go ahead and do it. Spur of the moment thing. It's all good, bro. But let me tell you, we got a lot of content coming down the pipeline, right? We're going to see a lot more shows that we're going to start putting out. You're going to start seeing, when we get this season started, you're going to see Top of the Tailgate full swing. You're going to see Cup of Coffee with color. You're going to see, Shake Money and Lewis with the lounge. You're going to see KP and Crypto. You're going to see it 24/7. It's going to be nuts, right? And until next time, thank you for watching the show, and you guys have a wonderful night. Ends up.